So I saw a video a few weeks ago, and it was a little fun animation of the speedster type characters in anime all racing to decide who is the fastest. I won't spoil the winner for that specific video as it's pretty funny and it also is very entertaining, so you should go and check it out for yourself. So today, not only will I be ranking the anime speedsters in this video, but I will be talking about other speedsters that are popular in anime and manga as well. There are a lot of characters that can technically be classified as a speedster, but I'm going to be going over the most important ones. And for this video, I will be using Dyspo like how he was used in the animation. However, I will also be including Burter, who just so happens to be the actual fastest in the universe, or in his own universe. Actually, I lied. That statement isn't even true. Anyway, today I will be breaking down specifically who is the fastest anime speedster along with ranking the others in comparison to one another. So remember, this is mainly me looking at the speed category, and unlike how I usually do it in my videos where I talk about their combat and reaction speed mainly, as travel speed to a degree doesn't really matter in fights, this time we are mainly going to be talking about travel speed while side noting combat and reaction. And so this video isn't going to be just straightforward power scaling, there are other factors to be taken into account. So if you see someone like Iida being above Kizaru because of his engine legs, I do not think Iida can beat Kizaru in a one-on-one fight. I know it's kind of crazy that I have to clarify that, but I mean, I already know I'm going to get that one comment. But Tyler, how the f is Kurosensei above Killua? We're talking about speed only here, and for the most part, we are going to be comparing travel speed. So with all that being said, we can now get started on our list with the slowest speedster in manga currently, that being Okarun. Okarun, Turbo Granny, fake ass Chainsaw Man, you guys know who I'm talking about. Now, Dandadan is initially a series that I tried giving a watch and decided to never attempt to again. However, some time has passed for this series and we've seen characters grow significantly powerful. However, when it comes to the speed department, unfortunately, this verse is pretty lackluster. With Granny Turbo, the MC moves at best 100 kilometers per hour, which would classify him as superhuman. These are like rookie numbers Captain America is able to hit, bro. And I mean, we do know as an astral projection, he can move much faster than his physical self, but it's not like this is really his speedster mode. And he can't just travel out of his body to then go ahead and try and win the race when he physically needs to win the race. So in order for him to qualify in this race, he would have to be using his Turbo Granny state, which, like I said, is probably the slowest speedster in manga right now. Like, bro, I'm faster than bro. Now, next up, I have Iida, who is definitely a step up from Turbo Granny, but he's definitely just not even close to being the fastest character in anime. Iida, with his recipro burst, was able to close the distance between him and Stain before his sword could even touch Todoroki. Mind you, Todoroki was like a few inches from death before Iida blitzed and saved him. Even if you assume Stain is only as fast as a peak human, which obviously isn't true because he's blitzing Todoroki, Iida would have needed to cross at least 3,085 meters per second to block Stain, or enough speed to surpass the speed of sound by almost 9 times. Now, when it comes to raw calculations, this is probably the fastest feat for Iida travel speed wise. The reason I say this is because other than this, the best travel speed feat in My Hero is All Might being able to like move at Mach 10. And I don't remember if it was Iida or Torino, but apparently they were moving so fast that they were comparable to a supersonic jet, which is a lot faster than Granny Turbo, but again, this is just rookie numbers, I'm not gonna lie to you. And obviously with this combat and reaction speed, he moves much faster as slower characters in Iida can react to things like light. However, this does not really matter when these guys are racing each other. I just have to clarify that once again because I know I'm going to get that comment. Anywho, above Iida, we would have Kurosensei, whose general speed is capped at Mach 20, meaning he'd be traveling faster than Iida, who would be at best in the single-digit Mach range. Now, Iida's combat and reaction speed is definitely much higher than Kurosensei's speed in general, but that's not really relevant to the discussion, like I mentioned. And so we can now move on to the next tier above them, which would be Killua and Zenitsu, who at their max speed are capable of moving as fast or even faster than the speed of lightning. And I know a lot of you are like, what are you talking about, bro? Demon Slayers are like subsonic. Hold on, bro. Zenitsu not only has statements of already being lightning speed with his attacks, but we actually see him physically move faster than his own Thunderbolt. Calculations have this feat at around Mach 1830, which in my opinion would technically be faster than Killua's top speed. However, the thing is with Zenitsu is he's only this fast through a combat technique that he can't really spam like how he did in this animation. So if he wants to use his technique to like get a strong lead, then sure, I guess. But while he has to keep preparing this and dashing across the field over and over again, We have Killua in his Godspeed state, who in the anime is stated to be as fast as lightning, who could swiftly leave him and everyone else in the dust, considering not only is he moving way faster than everybody, but unlike Zenitsu, he isn't bound by a single technique and actually has a lot more mobility. And Killua being above these guys kind of makes sense. He's always been portrayed to be this speedster type character, and he's definitely one of the faster ones in manga/anime. However, in the next tier, we start to see characters who are either approaching or even surpassing the speed of light. In this tier, we have Yoruichi, Kizaru, Flashy Flash, and Minato. Now, these 4 characters, funnily enough, all have a reputation of being the fastest in their universe, and they all should just be faster than the speed of light. Yoruichi was known as the goddess of the Flash, being the fastest Flash Step user of the Soul Society, and although she mainly showed her high speed in the early parts of Bleach, she still is ridiculously impressive. Even in the early days of Bleach, she's able to cover 39 miles per second or casually move at Mach 212. And we know she should scale to Ichigo, who can somewhat speed blitz a bunch of Bambis while slowing down after crashing through the barrier. And this feat, even after assuming Bambis are regular humans in terms of speed, which they are definitely not, this feat of Ichigo trying to slow down his acceleration speed, not even traveling, just slowing himself down, comes out to around Mach 266,000. For reference, this is over 30% of the speed of light and thousands of times faster than Killua and Zenitsu. This same Ichigo, mind you, gets dropped by Askin on his deathbed, while Yoruichi is able to fight Askin and keep up with him. And a lot of Bleach characters in terms of combat and reaction speed as well do react and keep up with characters who react to light, but that's not really relevant in this discussion, like I have mentioned countless times beforehand. We are mainly considering travel speed here, and this is really the best I can get of a number for Yoruichi. But of course, there are many other ways of scaling Yoruichi or upscaling her from different Bleach characters, thus potentially making her higher on this ranking. Flashy Flash is a little weird to scale between these guys just because we do see him making light constructs against Platinum S and Garo, but we see Flashy Flash clearly is faster with his sword or when he's using a combat technique. So think of him as like, I guess, the Zenitsu of the higher tiers, where he is pretty fast, but he can't be optimally this fast all the time in comparison to the other 3. Anywho, he should just be faster than Yoruichi based off the calc that I mentioned, but again, Yoruichi could be placed higher. These two are pretty much their own representations of speed within their own universe, and it's almost as if they are moving at the speed of light itself. But a step above these two, I have Minato and Kizaru. Like I mentioned, Minato and Kizaru can use their speed much more optimally in comparison to Flashy Flash and aren't as limited compared to other fighters. With the likes of Minato's flying Raijin and body flicker, he could theoretically just tag whoever could be the winner and instantly tie with them in the race, as he would be constantly teleporting, but this would be giving Minato the benefit of the doubt, having prep time, and he would just be constantly teleporting to whoever he wants to. However, I doubt Minato would just tag every single person and just teleport to the winner, that way he can tie with them. That's basically giving Minato extra time to do something before the race even begins, and in character he would not do that. As far as raw speed goes, the best I can say for Minato is that he's moving faster than the light like Lariat. This should at the very least mean Minato is high into relativistic, if not faster than light itself. However, I believe Kizaru's speed to be much more consistent and concrete, especially considering his other abilities as well. Not only is he himself light and can turn himself into it while accelerating, but he can also accelerate himself into higher speeds, meaning it's even possible that Kizaru is traveling much faster than the speed of light while being light itself. Honestly, that kind of sounds crazy and doesn't make any sense, but I think it's fine to suggest considering Kizaru's abilities come from a devil fruit, and we've seen a lot of characters in One Piece react to light speed type attacks, and if anybody were to be traveling at these speeds, it would be Kizaru. When it comes to accelerating and actually moving quick on their own, I'd ultimately say that Kizaru is better than Minato in this regard. However, there is a chance of Minato still marking him down once and just never losing pace with him. Though, of course, this expends chakra and energy, which Minato does have plenty of, but Kizaru wouldn't even be expending nearly as much energy as he is just this element himself. While Kizaru would be strolling through the race no problem, Minato would be infinitely repeating behind him no Daft Punk, and would at best stalemate with bro. And of course, for the next 2 spots, we have none other than Burter and Dyspo. Both are not only Dragon Ball characters, but due to them upscaling from much stronger and much faster characters in comparison to the other universes that we've been talking about, it's kind of a no-brainer that they are placed here. We see Burter being able to blitz a post-Zenkai Vegeta. This Vegeta should be stronger and much faster than the same Goku, reacting to high-speeding meteors. And these meteors, unironically, are traveling at bare minimum millions of times the speed of light. Burter upscales hundreds of thousands of times above everyone that we've talked about on the list, and Dyspo unironically would have an even bigger gap over Burter. For reference, Burter got one-shotted and mogged on by a Goku with the power level of 90,000. Meanwhile, we have Dyspo fighting Ultimate Gohan, ragdolling Golden Frieza, and being so fast that Hit couldn't even use his time skip. And by this point, characters are already destroying infinite-sized constructs, meaning, yes, your boy Dyspo has infinite speed and would be infinitely gapping everybody on this list. And so, for the anime speedster list, we would have Dyspo come out on top as the winner, with Burter taking 2nd place, Kizaru taking 3rd, and I guess Minato would be 4th, I guess, while everyone else would slowly be playing catch up with the rest. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this type of ranking. It was something different that I haven't done on the channel before, so I hope you guys enjoyed. You see, I fought your cousin before. He's fast. I'm faster.